Hey guys, it's Gianna from Ballerinas by Night. This is a completely casual setting for this video because I think it works out really well for the topic of this video, which is just struggling with the adult ballet life. I posted on Instagram sharing with you guys that I just maxed out the amount of hats that I could be wearing at one time this past week, and it just tore me up. Ugh. Where to begin? I don't know. I just tried to do too many things and be too many people, and my brain just stopped working. Like, I was forgetting things, I was doing things wrong, I was making stupid mistakes. Like, I had to drive for work one day. I had to drive an hour and a half to a different town to go work for a day, and I got there and then realized I had just left my purse at home. Like, I just didn't even grab it. Like, what was going on with my head? And then in class last week, I just straight up could not get the combinations. I mean, I know it's not like the easiest class, but like I generally can at least keep up with the music or something, but I just couldn't do it. And I've never been so discouraged with myself about class. I'm usually pretty good about being like, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's okay, mess up, you know, it happens. And I don't usually let it get to me like it did, but I was really like bothered. Please don't do that. Just how upset I got about it. I was talking to Kristen about it, and I was talking to Abby about it, and they were just like, you know, you've spread yourself so thin and there's just so much going on that I hit my wall and I couldn't do it. So then I just was like, I don't know, I just started questioning everything about like my commitment to ballet, and I was like, am I crazy to like be this committed to something that's just something I love? I mean, I miss all kinds of social events and just like, you know, spending time with friends and family so I can go take class, and I've never really questioned that before. It's always been to me just who I am. That's what I do, that's what makes me happy, and I've never thought that it would be wrong or not the best thing for me, because that's just what I've always done. So it was really hard. I didn't even like having those feelings. Like, I didn't know how to even deal with that aspect of those thoughts coming to my head, you know. And then on top of that, I was just thinking, like, you know, I've got this channel and I love having this like source to inspire you guys, and you guys inspire me, and I feel like this obligation to myself to, like, you know, always keep you guys in like a positive light and inspiring you and motivating you, and I want to be that person. But I guess that's just a lot of pressure, I guess, to put on myself to try to do that for everyone. I mean, I want to, but I know you guys don't expect that from me, so I don't know why I have put that expectation on myself. So anyway, it's been making me feel like guilty about not having content to make for any of our social media aspects for Ballerinas by Night. I've been wanting to film a video, but I mean, just, you know, working a full-time job, the only time I can film a video is on a Saturday or Sunday, and we've just had so much stuff going on over the weekends, and I'm completely reliant on like natural light, so I can't, you know, shoot something in the evening. And then I was just wanting to like write something on Instagram or Facebook and just kind of let you guys know that things have been busy, but it was just like I couldn't even put words together to tell you guys that. I just had to like tell myself I'm gonna have to step away and not look at any of that, not put the pressure on myself to do that, and things will calm down, even though at the time it did not feel like things were going to calm down. But I mean, it was just like overnight, I like the next morning I just felt like, okay, I can think again, I can process some thoughts, I can have ideas, and that's when I finally was able to think clearly enough about how all of these pressures that I put on myself to dance and to create stuff, that's just part of the adult life. Like, not being able to do that stuff is part of being an adult dancer. We don't get to just dance as much as we want. We don't get to say no to some work functions or social functions because we want to go take class. Those aren't options for us some of the time, and that's really hard to deal with if you're someone that's a very dedicated student like I am, and I know that you guys are that way as well based on your reactions to, you know, when I talk about feeling like this. So I wanted to just kind of like open up this discussion, you know, not only for myself to talk it through, but I think that just to let you guys know that like we don't have to have our shit together all of the time. It's okay for things to fall apart. Sometimes life stuff just has to take priority over ballet, and that's really hard for me to accept. I hate any situation that pulls me away from going to ballet. And I know that sounds really crappy, but that's just how I've always been. What I've found that I've had to do when those situations come up is I just have to tell myself it's okay. I have to forgive myself. I have to think about the positives of what stepping away could be. Because I think a lot of times, you know, as adults, we're so aware that we're not getting any younger. For me, at least, I'm afraid every time I don't go to class, it's gonna set me back. Because I know that I only have probably so many years left that I can actually improve before I'm just gonna try to maintain or try to just, you know, keep up with as much as I can. Because I can already feel some of those effects happening. So, I mean, it can be scary, the thought of being like, okay, well, the next 2 weeks, I just can't make it to class. Because as an adult, like 2 weeks off, I mean, that unfortunately can do quite a bit to our progress and our maintenance. But I mean, as much as you want to think about that and think about the negatives, really that's not going to do you any good. So I think that if you're in a situation like that, sure, think about the negative things, but then immediately just you have to let your mind know that it can't think those things anymore, and think about the positive things. For me, the positives of taking a break is I kind of get like a reset on my muscles. Sometimes when I'm working really hard, I can get really tense, or I kind of just, I see everything in one light and I only do it one way. And sometimes I find that if I come back from a week or 2 weeks off, something's kind of reset and I'm able to find this, or I find a new way to do this. And you can also view it as like a new beginning. So you've got like this starting point and you can say, okay, I'm really gonna focus on my musicality. Like, you know what I mean? You can have like a fresh start and tell yourself this is what you want to focus on. You can do that every week even when you're not missing. But that can kind of be something to motivate you when you can get back into the classroom. Let's see, you guys were saying like some really great things in my Instagram post. If you didn't see the Instagram post, I wrote about my struggles and wanted to know if you guys wanted me to talk about this, and you guys definitely did. So some of you had some really well worded ways of understanding this struggle. Oh, this was a really great one. Christina said, I've struggled to feel committed and to find the time for classes while managing work and the pressure of other responsibilities. Could you talk a bit about how to avoid comparing ourselves to others in this respect? So many other adult dancers seem to be able to balance everything and do multiple classes per week, plus home workouts. Sometimes that motivates and inspires me, but more often it makes me feel worse about myself. Oh my gosh, yeah, Christina, for sure. I struggle with this a lot, especially like being a ballet content creator, if that's what you want to call this. You know, I see a lot of people posting stuff constantly and they're always, you know, working on things or showing clips of them dancing, and I love watching that stuff. I love it so much. And every time I do, I think like, oh my gosh, like I want to be doing that, or I want to, you know, I want to work on that and make my feet look like that, or my leg line look like that, or try sewing that skirt, you know, that but yeah, I mean, it can easily feel like when you're scrolling through Instagram that like everyone has their dance life together, that it's perfect, that they're always working on things, that they're always improving, which is fantastic. That's what I want for everyone. So it's like, but I get that when you watch that stuff, it can make you feel like you're less than. Okay, sorry, my camera cut out. Yeah, it's hard when you watch that stuff and you compare yourself to other people and you don't feel as good, but then you're proud of them because of their progress and the things that they're sharing about their dance life. So I mean, it's hard to watch that stuff but then not think about what you're missing. I mean, I think just the bottom line with that is you have to not look at that stuff, which I hate saying that because it's like part of supporting one another is to, you know, comment and see what everyone else is doing. But I think if it's like really getting you down, you just have to not look at it for a while. That's like that's the thing that's worked for me every single time with any aspect of my life. I do it a lot with photography. It's very hard with everyone being a photographer. Basically, it can feel like you're constantly behind, or why didn't I have that idea? You know, the comparison thing it's at a next level with social media. But if it's like comparison issues like while you're in class with people that you're actually with, I mean, I find that fortunately I don't feel that very often as an adult. I don't know if just with age, I just don't care as much. I make it more about me. I get very much in my zone and sometimes I don't even see anyone else in class because I'm just so focused. But for me, I find that if I do like feel like intimidated by someone in class, or if I feel like I'm comparing myself, I find that if I can like introduce myself to them or find some way to talk to them and like humanize them, that it makes it a lot better. because you can still like admire their talent, but it doesn't have to be from like they're over there and you're over here. You know, if you get to know them as a person, I think it makes it easier to root for them than it is to be like, oh well, that person, of course they can do that, you know, because like I'm on my journey and they're in their journey, and if, you know, we can talk to each other and understand each other, then I find that the comparison isn't there. This was another really good comment from Ballet for Therapy. She said, I fell off the wagon and then it ran over me this week. My kids were home from school all week for winter break and I don't get any extra workouts, and I ate like crap because I was kind of depressed. We are dancers who have to deal with other lives too. It can be hard. I think that's another one of those things about balancing it all, is like I have this huge fear of falling off the wagon, and then next thing you know, it's like 6 months and I haven't danced. I know how hard it can be to come back when you haven't been, because you're aware of where you were and you know that when you go back to class it's not going to be at that level. It's very hard to mentally deal with that. So the fear of falling off the wagon is real. Yeah, and then like the eating like crap because you're sad that you can't go to dance, like I totally struggle with that, because I just get in this mindset of like, oh well, whatever, you know, like nothing's working out, so I might as well eat a box of donuts, you know. Like my thoughts or 2 cents on that. I don't even know if you guys want my 2 cents. I'm just chatting. When I've been like that, I feel like I let myself do it. I'm just like, okay, you're gonna be in this mood, you're gonna want this, just accept it, do what you think in your head you need to do, whatever it is that you think you need to do. And then when you're ready, because either you're gonna get really tired of being like that and you'll snap out of it on your own, which is like most likely I think what happens. But I think if you get to the point where you're like, you feel like you've been out of it so long and you can't get the courage to come back, the thing that I always do is like, I watch some kind of like, I do like a marathon of like a ballet movie or ballet videos, or like something that I know sparks like that need in me to dance, something that inspires me, that just makes me feel everything. I find that helps me dig deep to find that like basic desire to just dance, to the point like where you have to do it no matter what the hell's going on in your life. You just have to do it, because I think it just like when you watch stuff like that like inspires you so much, it just makes you miss it to the point where you're like, if I don't dance, I'm gonna burst. And Joanna wrote on here, I always crave large spaces of free time to take as many classes as I want, but inevitably can only make it about twice a week due to various obligations. I try to make the most out of the classes I can take, but sometimes find myself too mentally exhausted to enjoy them fully. So true, so true. That was definitely me last week. Like I get in the zone of like, if I at least show up, then I feel accomplished. But I guess it's frustrating to me when I'm in the room, but yeah, I'm mentally and or physically so tired that I'm not being able to take advantage of the time that I'm there. And then that makes me frustrated because I'm like, gosh dang it, like all I want to do is come dance and I only have a certain amount of time I can do it, and I want that to be like the best hour and a half of my day, the best hour and a half it could possibly be. And just sometimes adult life does not let us get an hour and a half of pure dancing bliss. Our brains get bogged with too much information, we can't remember combinations, we can't make the brain and the body work as one. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. My battery is about to die. Gosh dang it, all of my batteries died. Oh my god, okay, so I'm gonna have to just finish this on my phone. But hey, that's about how this week's been going. Just nothing has gone right. The adult struggle of the adult mind. I feel like I'm still trying to figure that one out. I don't really know what we can do besides let some commitments go, which are either not an option. I mean, a lot of times, especially if you have kids. I mean, like, I don't have any kids and I can't imagine adding that to my schedule right now. I mean, I have so many things going on, and the part of the problem is like, I love all the things that I'm doing. I mean, I don't love my full-time job. I would love for that to not be in the way, but it's like crucial to me being able to provide for my family right now. So it's dream versus reality, and there's all the things, all of my dream things that I'm doing, my passion things that I'm doing are things that I don't want to give up. I don't want to have to cut anything out of my life, but at the same time, I can't keep going at the rate I've been going and have my brain so overloaded with information that I get to class and I can't do anything, because that's not satisfying either. And the last thing I want is to fall out of love with ballet, because that would just be horrible. I would be one angry, horrible person. So I don't know. I will have to keep you all posted as things evolve, as more lessons I learn. We can help each other out. Leave some comments if you've been in any kind of scenario like this and you've overcome it or you figured out some way to balance it all. Please share with the rest of us. I know we would all love to catch a break in some aspect of our lives. We're all trying to do everything and be everyone and just be amazing at everything, and you just can't. It's not possible. So we have to cut ourselves a break. Know that it's not the end of the world if we have to take a break from ballet, if we have to cut back on ballet, whether that's just temporarily or permanently. But I think the bottom line is, if you love to dance and it brings you a joy to your life that nothing else can, it's worth making whatever sacrifices it is that you need to make to give yourself that time, even one day a week. You don't have to always be improving. You don't have to always be making like huge discoveries. Sometimes it can't be at the level of difficulty or intensity that we want it to be all of the time. It's okay for that to change every once in a while. I mean, you may have some time, some months or some years where it feels like you're working your butt off and you're making huge progress. That's fantastic. Like that's how I would love it to be all the time, but the reality is sometimes you can't commit to it as much to be making that kind of progress, and it is just enough to show up to class. That's my 2 cents for today. I hope things for me can calm down a bit. There's so much content I want to make for you guys, and I just, one day at a time. I'm working on it, trying to. Thank you guys. We are huge supporters of all of you. Big virtual hugs to everyone. Virtual hugs. Alright, I'm gonna go work on stuff, because that's the adult life. Gotta work on some things on a Sunday, so. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. Follow us on social media. When we, can post, we will post. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, it should be February corrections. I need to film that one for you guys. And I have like a fun vlog that's coming as soon as I can share it from like weeks ago. I did a photo shoot and I did like a little vlog, fun behind the scenes vlog, but I can't share it yet because the photo shoot is not out yet. So anyway, thanks to come. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.